it's Bri, and I have a story for you. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new here, go ahead and click that red button and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this story, you guys are gonna want to see Bri all the time, every time I upload. Now, honestly, I don't know what possessed me to film this story time. I guess I'm going through some family drama right now, and it's come to my attention. Certain people think that I'm acting brand new. Certain people think that all of a sudden I think that I'm better than people.
Oh, not a white refrigerator. Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Ooh.
And I took some time to really reflect upon this information. And honestly, it's situations like this story time right here that make me wonder, am I really acting brand new? Do I think I'm actually better than people? Or am I just tired of putting up with people's shit? As you can tell by the title of today's video, this is another stupid story time about my stupid family and my stupid life. This story time takes place in 2019 or 2018 when I was living in the Bay Area with my sister. Now, if you guys have never seen me before and you don't know anything about my traumatic past, first of all, I just want to say you are so lucky, bitch. I am so jealous. I wish I could be you. I wish I didn't know anything about my traumatic past as well. When most people say that they were living with their big sister, it's not a big deal because most people grew up with their siblings, right? When I, Brianna Lay, hi, hey, it's Bri. When I say that I was living with my big sister in the Bay Area, I'm talking about a big sister that I did not grow up with. This sister was basically like a long lost sibling. And it wasn't like she was a complete stranger because we were talking every single day before I ended up moving to Ohio to be with our dad. She's actually the person that like gave my number to my dad. So it wasn't like this was a complete stranger. I had a relationship with her. I just told you guys I didn't grow up with her. So all of a sudden I'm in this desperate situation and I'm living with her. This was my first time being around her on a consistent basis. This was my first time being around anybody on my dad's side on a consistent basis, okay? If you guys have never been on my channel before, this will be the perfect time to go do your research, baby, because when I went to Ohio, I was not too fond with my father. Like, we did not get along. I honestly felt like he wasted my time. You wait your whole life to meet your dad, and then you finally meet him and he's a loser. My relationship with my sister was really weird because she wanted my relationship with my dad to work out. That didn't work out. And then at the same time, that's still her dad. So she doesn't want to hear me like bad mouthing him, going in on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would actually hurt my sister's feelings to hear how I felt about our father, because that's not the dad that she grew up with. So this particular time in my life, in like 2018, 2019, I was really in the process of like rebuilding my whole life. And I literally had to start completely over because when I went to go live with my dad in Ohio, I threw all my stuff away. So when I was in the Bay Area, girl, I was rocking one pair of shoes. I didn't have nothing. And I know that's probably so hard for some of you guys to believe because I'm so young and sexy today. I did not always have it this fabulous, honey. My life was not always this glam. So when I first moved to the Bay Area to stay with my sister, we were living in a city called Dublin, and my sister was actually living with her best friend, and they were staying with her best friend's sister and her husband, okay? So it was a lot of us in that house, to say the least. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, this is the same best friend whose sister ended up throwing me out in the middle of the night. One thing I will say about my sister is that every single day was an adventure with her. She always found something fun for us to do, even if it was so random. Like, I would get off work and end up at a fair eating funnel cake. She is definitely fun to hang out with because she likes to stay active. And I say that because my sister ended up getting tickets to a weed festival that's actually called the Cannabis Cup. One day she came to me and she was like, oh, I have these tickets for Cannabis Cup. And I was like, what is that? And she pretty much explained to me that Cannabis Cup was like a weed festival or a weed convention where you can go and you could try out different kind of weed. Now, one of the reasons why my sister wanted to go to this convention was because she actually ran a cannabis business with her boyfriend. So she had extra tickets and she wanted me me and her best friend to go with her to the Cannabis Cup. She was like, yeah, you know, I got these extra tickets, but I don't want to go with my boyfriend. I like smoking weed, but I don't care about weed as much as my sister, okay? So she low-key had to convince me because I did not see the point in going and walking around and smoking all this different kind of weed. Like, I was not too excited about the Cannabis Cup, to say the least. But she convinced me because she really was like, are you serious? We can have free stuff. They're gonna be giving away free weed. And obviously, if somebody tells you, oh, if you go to this event, you're gonna get free weed, you gonna want to go to that event, girl. Now, during this time, my sister and her boyfriend, they were not getting along. I'm not talking too much about her boyfriend in this story because, girl, he is so irrelevant. But just know, I was dating a loser. My sister was dating a loser. So I couldn't even judge her like that, honestly. Honestly, where I was in life, I was in no place to talk about my sister's relationship with her boyfriend, okay? Because I was not doing no better. I remember one time I was hanging out with my sister all day. I ended up falling asleep in the car. And when I woke up, we was in a totally different city. Like, we was damn near 2 hours away from where we lived because my sister was stalking her boyfriend. He was at a hotel and she was trying to figure out who he was at a hotel with. I thought it was very stupid. So why, when it's actually the day of the weed festival, does her boyfriend pull up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming with y'all? And like I said, I was not doing no better. I was in no place to judge, but I will tell you, I was kind of irritated.
Paul, why is you here?
I didn't even say nothing. And to be honest, I'm one of those people that, like, if you come to me and you consistently vent to me about somebody, when that person comes around me, I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not gonna pretend like I like that person. So when my sister's boyfriend would come around me, I was never like overly friendly. I would say hi and everything. And if he wanted to buy food for everybody, I'm gonna put my order in. But I definitely was not like going out my way to be his best friend or to establish a friendship with him. And that's really important for you guys to know because look at the title of the video. I just told you guys, I technically wasn't even in a position to judge my sister, but I still knew that her boyfriend was not good for her and that I was not willing to welcome him to the family. So let's fast forward. We're at the Cannabis Cup, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was definitely beyond my expectations. Like, I really did not believe that they were going to be giving out samples, that you could just walk up to a table and try their wax. Like, people were giving out free dabs. I was loaded, okay? I'm gonna get straight to the point, baby. I was faded. And I wasn't just any kind of faded. I was Family Guy faded. I was American Dad faded, girl. I was so lit. I promise you, I remember walking around in circles because I was like, I cannot stand up. That is so important because as embarrassing as it is to admit that, like, that's super embarrassing to be like, I basically was drunk off marijuana, bitch. I couldn't even stand up. That in itself is embarrassing to admit, right? But I have to tell you guys this. I can't stand up straight. We've been at this fucking weed festival like an hour. It probably wasn't even an hour, girl, because as soon as we walked in that place, we was getting lit. We was trying edibles. We was taking dabs. I don't know how long I was in there realistically, okay? But I was in there long enough where a bitch couldn't even stand up straight. So we were at one particular table and my sister actually was networking. Like, she had some merch and she was like really talking to them about like going into business. I mean, I don't know anything about weed, but I know that she was having a serious conversation about expanding her business and maybe partnering up. I was fighting for my life, y'all. Like, I literally was fighting for my life. Like, I was trying to stay conscious so bad. The festival was literally in a large parking lot, so there was nowhere to sit. So I don't even want to hear nobody in the comments like, girl, why you just didn't sit down? There was nowhere to sit, bitch. When my sister started handling her business, when she started networking, her best friend told me straight up, like, hey, I'm about to go see how much more free stuff I can get. So when my sister best friend told me she was leaving, I felt like it was in my best interest to just stay in that one spot, not too far from my sister, and just walk around in these circles and try to figure out how I'm gonna keep my eyes open and how I'm gonna stay alive without falling over, because I literally felt like I was gonna be like timber. I can't even explain it, girl. I was astronomically high. But when my sister's boyfriend came out of the crowd, like when my sister boyfriend finally found us, oh my God, I was was holding on to him for dear life, girl. Like, seriously, I was scared that I was just gonna like black out. I was so high. And so when he came, I kind of like was leaning on his shoulder. I wouldn't let him walk too far. Like, every time he got too far from me, I was like, hold up, where are you going? I was literally acting like I needed him to help me walk. Like, girl, I was faded. I was paranoid as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was saying stuff like, I need you right here by me. Don't even go over there. Don't go too far. He probably took it as like I was flirting. Hell no. I was saying, bitch, I need you as support. I'm finna go down.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I was not trying to have one of those moments. Now that I think about it, you guys, I could have been so faded. I was having like a panic attack or an anxiety attack, because when I tell you, it got to the point I was literally asking myself, like, what are you doing?
Stand up.
Like, seriously, I was asking myself, like, why are you acting like this? You smoke weed every single day. But when I tell you, I was holding on to that man. Like, I literally felt like I was gonna fall on my ass. And so from the time her boyfriend came over to us to the time that we ended up leaving the convention center, if I wasn't leaning on him, I was leaning on somebody. I'm not even gonna lie. If I wasn't leaning on the boyfriend, I was leaning on the best friend, or I was like locking arms with my sister. Like, everybody that I was with, I was holding on to. I just wasn't telling them like, hey y'all, I'm too faded, because I was too embarrassed to admit that. And y'all don't have to believe me. Y'all can come up with your own opinions, but that's the truth. Like, I was too embarrassed to admit that I went to this weed convention and got my ass whooped, okay? So after this convention, I really didn't think nothing of it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. After we left that convention, we went to go eat. We enjoyed the rest of our day. I didn't even think about that situation because, like I said, my sister and her boyfriend was always getting into it. Now, if you guys want to know anything about me, bitch, I move on with my life. After we left that weed convention, I was not thinking about my sister boyfriend. I was not thinking about the convention at all, because I was barely able to think when I was physically at the convention. I could barely form a thought when I was there. So I wasn't thinking about anything that took place or anything that happened at that convention after we left, okay? And I feel like enough time had gone by after that event before my sister brought it up to me again. Because remember, I told you guys when I first moved to the Bay, we was living in Dublin. When I got my first job, I was working at like McDonald's in Pleasanton, which is not too far from Dublin. And after I got hired at that McDonald's, we ended up moving from Dublin to Oakland. So my sister did not bring this situation up for a cool ass minute. Like, bitch, I had got a job, we had to pack to move, and then literally on the moving day, right? Why did my sister stop me? And she was like,
you know my boyfriend is coming today, and I just want to ask you something. Like, did you hit on him? Like, were you flirting with him? Because he told me that you made him very uncomfortable at the cannabis cup. That's why I haven't been inviting him over here. That's why I haven't been bringing him up, because I want to know if you like him. Like, do you have a crush on my boyfriend? Like, what was that about?
I literally was standing in that parking lot with the laundry basket in my hands, really looking at her like, bitch, are you serious? First of all, bitch, I'm not even trying to be funny, but I didn't even have nowhere to live. I was not in no position to be trying to steal your man. This is not the Players Club. And then, you know what really had me shocked? What really had me shocked was, bitch, you argue with this man every day. He done had not one but 2 babies on you. Clearly he a liar. Like, she actually believed him to the point that she confronted me. And do you know how I was fuming on the inside? Because we literally were going to move to another place. I was not trying to start an argument and then I was just gonna be standing there with all my stuff in Dublin. She could have just left me right there. I was like, no, like, that's definitely not what happened. I was just way too faded. And honestly, I have another story time about when I got way too faded in the Bay Area and a bitch ended up in a hospital, okay? So clearly, like, I was not lying. I was just high off my ass. And I couldn't even believe that that was a conversation I was actually having with my sister. After everything that I've gone through, you really think that I'm gonna try to steal your man? How does that make sense? I was so insulted on so many levels, because in my mind, I was like, okay, bitch, you gotta stop using the excuse, oh yeah, that's my sister, but I don't know her. Because that was my sister go-to excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's my sister, but I just met her this year. Like, you really gonna accuse me of trying to take your man and then try to clarify it by saying, oh yeah, you know, we just getting to know each other and like, this is my first time living with you, so I'm just making sure. Bitch, why would I do that? Why would I even do that to my sister that I just met? Like, I couldn't even believe that she thought that about me. That made me feel some type of way right there. Like, damn, bitch, you think that about me? That was the beginning of the end of my relationship with my sister. Like, this particular story time was a time in my life when, like, I was still giving my family members the benefit of the doubt. This was a time in my life where, like, I didn't have the best relationship with my mom's side of the family. And so I really wanted my dad's side of the family. I really wanted that relationship with those siblings to work, especially because I didn't know them. And so, like, I was consistently giving my sister the benefit of the doubt. So this was, like I said, the beginning of the end, because our relationship just kept getting weirder and weirder. She kept showing me she was a hater. Like, my sister will say, oh, you're selfish, you're this, you're that. But she's the one that actually proves herself to be selfish. I was giving my sister the benefit of the doubt. I was brushing situations like this under the rug, and look what that got me, getting kicked out in the middle of the night. My sister ain't never showed me no real loyalty. My sister ain't never really tried to establish a bond with me as a big sister, you know what I'm saying? Even though my sister helped me out when I didn't have nowhere else to go, she always made it clear that I was an outsider. She always made it clear that I was one of the kids that my dad had that did not count. Like, one time she was talking to my other sister and she literally said,
if daddy dies, only his real kids are gonna be in the will.
And I was sitting right there. That's why I said at the beginning of the video that people are trying to say that I think I'm better than them and they don't know why I'm acting like I don't want to be bothered. Bitch, because I don't want to be bothered. Like, I've already seen you guys' true colors and I'm good. I will never forget how shocked I was that my sister literally confronted me out the blue like I was her homegirl. And then when her boyfriend pulled up, how everybody was just acting like everything was so normal, and I was just standing there like mad as fuck, and I couldn't even say nothing. I couldn't even defend myself because where was I gonna go? I literally was in no predicament to defend myself. I just had to be like, you know what? That's not what happened, and I'm sorry you feel that way, and it will never happen again. But I promise you, like, when her boyfriend actually pulled up and we were loading stuff into his car, bitch, I was mad as fuck. I almost wanted to confront him and be like, damn, bro, you think I have a crush on you? Like, you really think I have a crush on you and you got 2 kids? I'm telling you, some of the disrespect that I have experienced in my life from other people, particularly my family, is why I am so good keeping to myself, okay? I would rather be alone and at peace, bitch, than to still be talking to family members that don't even consider me a real sister. It's situations and it's story times like this that have made me so much stronger and so much wiser, because now I'm able to really detect the kind of person that I want in my life and the kind of people that I want to get to know me on an intimate level, the kind of people that actually deserve to be in my life. When I think about the disrespect that I used to tolerate, when I think about the way that people used to come at me and the things that people used to say to me, bitch, I'm fine with letting them think and feel whatever they need to think and feel as long as they stay away from me, bitch. And if I'm ever feeling lonely, I have 57,000 friends online to keep me company. With that being said, if you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up. Blue, support your girl. Get those fingers moving in the comments below and let me know how you feel about this situation. Do you guys have a stupid ass sister? Because I know siblings don't get along, but this is like ridiculous. With that being said, I love you guys so much and I'm super excited to hear from you in those comments below. Till next time.